Hey everyone, this is Kitty London, host and creator of the People of Power Show, and every week I sit down with movers and shakers, CEOs, entrepreneurs, some celebs, but basically people who are doing amazing things. And today is another amazing edition of a show that's sponsored and funded by the Children's Service Council of Palm Beach County. I am here at the new facility for the Palm Beach County Food Bank, and I'm kind of falling out because LaShondra took me on a tour in your freezer, and you're gonna see that later in the video, but that freezer is the real deal.
Isn't it? It is. The freezer and cooler are state of the art. So yes, they are very large and very cold. Yes, my biggest fear is getting locked in that freezer. But you can't. So at least that's what they tell me.
Right.
So,
and you're the CEO, so you should know everything. I want to just thank you for joining me. Meet Miss Jamie Kendall.
Thank
CEO.
you. Thank you for coming out and taking a tour today.
Oh, I am blown away.
Yeah. Have you been to the old building?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, big change.
I've been there several times. And it's around the holidays, and I just want to, I know you have an agenda for us today, but I want to keep people in mind. I know we hear about the turkey drives all the time, but people are hungry all year round. It's not just the holidays.
Absolutely. It's not just the holidays, and it's not just COVID.
That's
so as we're coming out of the past 2 years, we have seen a heightened need, of course. But I try to educate people that COVID brought out the highlight of the need for food assistance, and it was a little bit increased because people were out of work and all of that happened during the height of COVID. But hunger was here before COVID. Hunger is going to be here after COVID. Hunger was here before the holiday season. It's going to be here after the holiday season. So I always say that we're working to put ourselves out of work, but unfortunately, that's not happening. So life circumstances, people have different ebbs and flows of their life where they just might find themselves where they've never needed food assistance before to needing food assistance to get through. So that's why we're here. We're a safety net. We're here to make sure that all of Palm Beach County residents have enough food on their table to sustain themselves and a healthy lifestyle. And that's what we strive to do day in, day out.
And this is why I'm here to basically be a reminder to the community, because I think, again, we forget. And I don't think it's intentional. I think we just go about our everyday lives and think that everybody's okay because we don't constantly hear about the numbers and who is impacted. And I remember about 3 years ago or 2 years ago, I was here at the other facility, and I was amazed and also disheartened about the statistics, meaning for the children who are facing hunger and also the elderly. And those populations are near and dear to most people's heart because we have grandmothers and we have grandfathers, and especially when you're older and you have to think about medication over food, and then you think about children going to school hungry and not able to function because they're hungry.
Right. And in Palm Beach County, we have over 181,000 people that we know are food insecure. And by
Can you repeat that number one more time?
181,000.
Okay, so
Palm
when
Beach
you
County.
think about that number, I mean, 1,000 people. If you had an event, right, and you had 1,000 people to show up, that's a pretty big event.
Sure. 181,000.
Wow.
One too many. I mean, just it should not be happening in this country, in this county, where we have enough food for everybody to have food on their table. And we I talk about hunger and being food insecure is kind of something silent that a lot of people suffer with. You have a single parent out there that doesn't want to admit that they are struggling and they might not be able to meet the needs of their children. And they are fortunate when those children go to school that they might be eligible for free and reduced price lunch. And then on the weekends, they may struggle a little bit. And we come in with our backpack program, our childhood hunger initiatives. And you're talking about children and elderly being near and dear to everybody's hearts. So children, again, are eligible for free and reduced price lunch at school. So they're being taken care of there. But then they go home on the weekends. So we work, right now, we are close to 4,000 backpacks a week.
Wow.
That we send out. We work very closely with the school system and after school programs. And so those students are able to receive a bag of food that we have packed here at our warehouse. We have wonderful volunteers that come in every single day of the week. and help us sort food and pack these backpacks that go out to the children. And we know we're not just sending food home for the child for the weekend. We know if that child is in need of assistance with food for the weekend, there are siblings that are in need of assistance, and there's parents. It's
Correct.
the whole
Caretakers.
family. Caretakers, absolutely right. And we're seeing a lot more grandparents taking care of grandchildren these days, and they're already on limited incomes. So our backpack program has really grown, and we've really seen the need to increase those numbers. So that's something that we've been working on this year, is increasing the numbers of children that receive those bags. But we send food home for the whole family. There's a family meal in that bag. So we're very fortunate that we're able to do that. And like I said, we're upwards of almost 4,000 kids a week right now.
Wow, that's a lot of kids when you think about that number. So, when we played this video back and people are watching later, I know sometimes we wonder, like, how can we help and how can the community help and be supportive for all these initiatives that you're doing?
Sure. So there's a number of different ways, and that's a great question. So, well, certainly donations, financial donations, donations of food, keep us running. Advocacy, talk about the need, talk about the need that's out there. That help spread the word that this is an issue, and it affects every aspect of our social service community. So if you have children or an adult that is not getting proper nutrition, there's health issues that go along with it. And so those health issues have to take care of with health services, and so that system is burdened with simply because people don't have the proper nutrition. You have children at school that aren't going to learn. A hungry child is not going to learn at school. They are not going to be their mind is going to be on where their next meal is coming from, or that their tummy is rumbling, or that they're worried because they might see their parents worried about where their next meal is coming from, and that stress on the child.
Yes.
So there's all these different things. I mean, food is a necessity, right? We can't live without it.
Listen,
we cannot live without it.
If I go a half a day, I'm woozy. Like, I can't even imagine. Can't even imagine going even half a day without food.
Yep.
So people that say that they haven't ate since, they don't know when, or a couple days, it breaks your heart.
Right. I had a mother one time out at a feeding site tell me that she had her children drink big glasses of water before they went to bed at night so that their rumbling tummies didn't wake them up. And so, she could supply water to them, but just trying to ease the rumbling tummies of needing food. And so, and that was her reality. So there's, it's just something that people suffer with silently. Elderly people, we know elderly people who need food assistance. They are now living on, a restricted income, Social Security, retirement, whatever they might have. And they are, plagued with, medication costs, housing costs, groceries right now are going, we're seeing an increase with inflation on the prices of food, which is wreaking havoc across the board. And so those seniors may have worked every day of their life, and they've never asked for help. And you see them with tears in their eyes because they have come to one of our food pantries because they just need that little bit of help. And we're a safety net. That's what we're here for. Our agencies that we work with, they are out there day in, day out. We work with close to 200 agencies, and they are really the boots on the ground when it comes to making sure that people are served in all the different areas of Palm Beach County. So we have agencies throughout all of Palm Beach County. And they are really the boots on the ground with soup kitchens, church food pantries. Some of them do mobile distribution, some do distribution right to seniors' doors. Again, we do the backpacks out of here that go home to the kids. So they've never, some of these folks have never asked for help a day in their lives. And we saw it especially during COVID.
Yes.
Yeah,
because people
working class families.
Put into just a new world. I mean, you go from having an income every week or 2 weeks to nothing.
Right. And, living paycheck to paycheck. And that's a reality. That is a reality for a lot. And actually, it's interesting that you say that, because a lot of people, when you talk about hunger and the need and food insecurity, in their mind, if they've never been in that place, they're thinking the homeless person.
Correct.
That we see. The people that are living in shelters, they're not thinking of the working class poor. And And the working class poor is the largest sector of our community.
You make too much to get help, but you don't make enough to be comfortable. Right.
So we're going back to school, and we might have two parents, and they have two minimum wage or a little bit more than minimum wage job, but they have to keep a roof over their head, and they have to keep a car or two cars running so that they can get to that job. And you throw in going back to school, and let's buy the kids some new shoes and some new clothes, and what's that going to do to my budget for our groceries this month? What can I do? So it's it really isn't the picture that a lot of people have conjured up in their mind when they think of people that need food assistance.
And some people, I don't think that they realize, because it really causes a downward spiral, because when people say, well, you know what, we have to eat, so maybe the mortgage doesn't get paid.
Right. Or maybe I'm not going to buy that medication that I really need.
Correct. And then everything else goes in a downward
Or
spiral.
wow, we have a flat tire, or we need new tires, and how are we going to afford that so that we can, keep going to our jobs? And where's that money going to come from? Are we going to have to take that money away from our food? Or you'll see parents that don't eat themselves, so their children can eat. And you see that a lot with grandparents. So.
This is happening in our own backyards.
In our own backyard.
And we're
with
Palm
your neighbors.
Beach. When you think about Palm Beach.
Right? Exactly.
mean,
when they started talking to me about this job, so I'm new to this food bank. I've been here for 10 months, but I'm not new to food banking. I was with another very large food bank for 12 years in Savannah, Georgia.
Okay.
And so I'm not new to food banking or the crisis of food insecurity. And when they first started talking to me, I was like, Palm Beach County, Palm Beach.
But that's what you think of Palm
Beach. The great wealth that we have.
Right.
But with the great wealth that we have, there's a great need.
180,000.
Isn't that crazy?
It's a lot.
That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people.
And like you said, as prices go up, that number is going to rise.
It is. And let's talk about the supply chain crisis that we have going on right now and what that's doing to the food bank. So we rely greatly on food to be donated. So the food that our agencies come here to get, we work with a number of retail stores, we work with manufacturers, we work with farmers, we work with all these different programs. Right now we are sub-distributing for the TFAP food, which is a federal program, the Emergency Food Assistance Program. So because of the supply chain issues, it's this big circle. I was talking with somebody about it yesterday. So we have individuals and families that have a very limited income and to spend on groceries. And now, because we're seeing the price of food going up, so now their limited income is not getting them as much as it used to, because now everything's costs more. And then down to our donations that come in the door, we're seeing a huge decrease in donations from the stores, because the supply chain, the stores are having trouble getting the food there. The cost of freight has nearly doubled.
Wow.
Which makes everybody's paying for it. We're all paying more for everything. And so it's reaping havoc down to the donations that we get through the door. So just in the last 3 months, when we were fortunate enough that we had the funding, but we spent over $700,000 on food just to kind of get by, to deal with the less amount of donations that we're getting in from the stores and the manufacturers. So the supply chain is not doing anybody any favors right now, and it's this huge circle effect, and people aren't thinking about it down at our level, but it's here and it's affecting us.
We have to do something. And I was, when I was here a couple years ago, I started thinking about this thing called, like, the one can make a difference. And I think we really need to push that again, just because I know when I go in a grocery store, I try not to go too often because it actually gives me a headache. But, like the buy one, get one free, I'm just thinking of ways that we can get some things coming in here. And I know, like I said, the holidays are coming.
Right.
We are 3 weeks away from Thanksgiving.
Isn't that crazy? Yep.
Do you need anything right now?
So right now, what we're telling people, because of all these issues that we're having, is food drives are wonderful. We have a lot of people and a lot of businesses and a lot of neighborhoods that do food drives for us, and that's wonderful. And we love those donations coming in of the food. But something that I want to remind people of is that sometimes when I know when my kids would come home from school and they'd be having a food drive, and either I was looking through my pantry to see what I had too much of. That you know, how many cans of green beans did I
Right,
really
right,
need?
right. The buy one get one
And
free, and it's like,
Because
I can do
interesting,
it.
food drives. What are the two biggest foods that we get in with food drives? Canned green beans and canned corn
Really?
across the board,
Oh,
which is wonderful, wonderful.
Okay.
But anyway, so or I would go to the store and I would buy food for my children to take in for their food drive at school. And then I got into food banking. And what I realized was, and what I like to tell people is, if I'm going out and spending $5 on 3 cans of soup for a food drive, if I gave that organization $5, they'd be able to buy a case of soup. So we love food donations, but financial donations, we are able to stretch and to purchase, because of our purchasing power with some suppliers who deal with nothing but food banks. We are able to get a lot more bang for our buck than the 3 cans of soup that $5 would have bought. So we just kind of put that out there. We love it all, but financial donations help us to afford to buy larger amounts.
And what I've learned too about financial donations, because I know sometimes people will look and say, "Oh, I don't have money. I'm struggling myself," right? That's how people think. But what I've learned is, if we can look like in our purses or wallets, guys, your car, especially guys, they keep like a whole bunch of change in their car. Change changes things. Literally. Like
makes a difference.
It does. I have like one of those big Ziploc bags, and I'm waiting to fill it up so I can donate it. But that's the purpose, because one day I had like a little jar, and it had mostly silver. So it was like, okay. When I went there, it was $70.
Right.
When I went to Publix and put it in the little machine, it was I was like, this much change is $70?
Right.
So how much is, so I think when people don't think about it, they could just collect their change.
Yep.
Change changes things. So
Right.
I would challenge you, if you want to donate and you feel like, well, I don't have, because I think when people, I say when it folds, they want to hold on to it, right? But change, people like, oh, you can have those quarters or nickels. It makes a difference.
It absolutely does. And you're talking
Makes a
about for
difference.
people that might not be able to make that financial donation.
Okay.
So something else that they can do is give their time.
Okay.
We rely heavily on volunteers. We have, we couldn't get those backpacks out to those children if I didn't have volunteers here Monday through Friday in the morning and in the afternoon packing those bags.
What are your age of your volunteers?
So most of the volunteers come in at 12 years old.
Oh, good.
Okay. Yep. So I am hoping that after the first of the year that we can open up and have family pack nights with children of all ages, as long as the parents are there, because I think for those that want to teach their children the importance of philanthropy and giving back, it's a great opportunity to come in as family. And help give back and learn about what we do, and those that need our assistance.
Well, that's really young. And what I would also challenge you, because I know I'm rushing it a little bit, but it'll be the end of the year for a lot of seniors soon. And you need those volunteer hours.
Yes, you do.
I just had a senior, my son, my baby son graduated last year. Thankfully, he did all of his community service hours, but the schools are really serious about that. For whatever reason, some of us wait till the last year and want to collect those 25 hours. This is the place.
This is a place.
Right? Get it out the way. And, the more the merrier, because when you're going to college, they want to see. Places like this. Oh my gosh. Yep. And you walk away learning something.
And having fun. Our volunteers really have a good time. They are out there, they are engaged. We have this wonderful volunteer coordinator who tells the story of the food bank and what we do, so they get that education piece of what their impact is, of what they're helping us do. And then they get out there, we have music playing, it's kind of fast paced and it's jovial and people feel good about doing what they're doing. So if you might not be able to give financially or give through a food drive, give your time. Give your time. 4 hours makes a huge difference. So we definitely would, invite anybody to come out. You can sign up through our website, which is pbcfoodbank.org. You could donate through our website as well. And but we invite everybody to come out and take a tour. Come out and take a tour.
Like I did, and we're going to show you that tour later in the show, but it's a wonderful facility. It is amazing.
It is. And so many people don't realize what food banking is, because there's a difference between food banking and then food pantries. So as a food bank, we procure food. I mean, that's our job. Our job is to get food in the door so that we can get food out to those that are in need. So a lot of people just really kind of don't understand what all of that means. But boy, if you come in and take a tour and see the size of our warehouse, and the food that we have in, and the sorting that's going on, and the packing by the volunteers, and our freezer, they kind of
still cold.
Yeah. they kind of get it. Then they're like, oh, I had no idea. So we definitely invite anybody out to come and take a tour and just reach out, and we will accommodate you, and we'll bring you in, and we will teach you more than you ever wanted to know about food insecurity in your community and what your neighbors are facing every day.
Once again, this is the CEO, Jamie Kimball. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. Thank you
and
for
thank
coming
you, LaShondra,
out.
for giving me my tour. And you'll see that later in the episode. And again, if you can give, I'm going to give your information on the video and your website. And come and take a tour. And again, I like the family pack night.
I know.
We got to talk more about that later when it happens.
Absolutely.
So we can let the community know that they can come in and bond.
Right?
Bond and pack.
Yeah.
Food.
Yeah, there we go. And listen to some good music.
Good. Look, music is good for the soul. And so is food. So we will make sure that we get people, full.
Yep. So thank you for coming out. We appreciate it.
You're so welcome. And thank you for the Children's Service Council of Palm Beach County for sponsoring and funding shows like this. And again, if you have the Every Parent app, if you are a Palm Beach County family member, recipient, or person that just, loves to know about children, download the Every Parent app. It's exclusively for Palm Beach County children from 0 to 18. Once again, this has been a People of Power show, and I'll see you later. Bye.
Welcome to the Palm Beach County Food Bank. I am LaShondra Highsmith, the Events and Marketing Manager, and I want to bring you along for a tour of our new facility. Come along. So this area here, we recently moved into the facility back at the end of March of this year. We moved into this facility because our organization has been expanding, and unfortunately, the need for food in our communities is also growing as well. So in order for us to meet the need, we needed to move on to a new and bigger facility that would be able to store the food and all the resources that are needed to distribute into the community. So here, first of all, this is our programs section and our programs area where we have 2 programs coordinator. One program coordinator works with our Food for Kids program, and they pretty much go out to the schools who we partner with, make sure that children have the food and nutritious meals that they need on the weekends, and those are provided to the students through backpacks, which we kind of also refer to as our backpack program. We also have a coordinator who works with schools to provide food as well, in different capacities. We have, and not only schools, but our partner agencies for sure. We have more than 200 partner agencies who we partner with throughout the community to help distribute the food right there to their neighbors specifically. So that is what our programs department do. And again, our program coordinators here help us to do that. So come along. And we're going to just continue to stroll along here. Now, what's new here in our facility, we have the capacity to be able to bring all of our volunteers in, because our volunteers are the heart of our organization. And so we're able to bring them in to, they have a nice area where they can help us to pack the bags and prepare the boxes of the meals that we distribute into the community. And we also have area where we can train them, because they will have to go through orientation. And also, we have the conference room. And so we've grown into a more efficient facility to help our volunteers as well as our donors and our supporters in the community. So as you come along, you'll kind of see here our training room where volunteers are currently being trained. So we're going to be a little quiet as we walk by.
And you got your fingers stuck? Oh.
Today is Thursday. I'm at the Band-Aid. Now, also here in our area, we have one of our programs, which is called SNAP Benefits. And SNAP Benefits Outreach Program. SNAP stands for Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program. And it is a program where we partner with the Department of Health or the state to provide resources to individuals who are in need. So otherwise known as or have been known as the food stamps program, we help individuals apply and submit their applications, gather all of their documents so they can have that additional assistance to receive the food that they need for themselves as well as their family. So this is our SNAP Benefits Outreach area here. Now we're going to enter our warehouse where you can kind of see some of the action taking place of how we distribute food. So this is our new warehouse. Now, in previous years, I think this will be our third year being on the People of Power show. You may have seen our facility before, which was a little bit outdated. I believe we had 3 different warehouses where we were trying to operate out of. Now you will see the facility here. This is one huge warehouse where we have our volunteer station, we have our freezers, our coolers, and our dry food storage. So I'll show you those areas. The other addition to our warehouse is that we now have loading docks. Before, we did not have loading docks, which made it very difficult for our warehouse drivers and workers to be able to load the food onto the trucks that our agencies use to come and pick up food. So now all our agencies need to do is just back up to the loading dock, pick up their food. We have a check-in here. We're also here developing an area called the Partner Marketplace, where when we have different foods that we receive donated from individuals and so forth that are in a variety of assortment, we'll have a marketplace here to where agencies can come in and they can pick from for the food that they need specifically for their organization or for their community. So that would be a nice addition. Over here is our volunteer area. As you can see, they are really working very hard. And I'll bring you over here a little bit just to kind of see that they are currently packing bags and for our food nutrition program. They will also pack the boxes that are distributed to our partner agencies as well. But this is an area where before, they were out in a different warehouse and so forth, and it kind of made it a little difficult, inefficient to we functioned efficiently, but now this area makes it a lot more efficient and a lot more comfortable for our volunteers. So this is our volunteer area. Here is our dry food storage area. Now, another part of us having a newer warehouse is our racking system. So these racks, were built specifically to hold a larger amount of food donations and so forth. In our previous building, the racking system was a little, worn out and so forth. So now we have a new racking system where we can store a little bit more food for our communities, and more space to be able to add more racking if we need to. Watch out for forklift drivers here. In this area here in the back is where all of our operations staff are located. We've got to make sure the warehouse runs very smoothly out here. Now what I am going to do, you've seen our dry food racking storage area. I'm going to take you into our very new and efficient cooler and freezer so that you can see how we store our colder items. We won't stay in here too long. We don't want to freeze up. But this is actually our cooler storage. And so, this is where we keep things pretty cool. But also we have our freezer area here, which it gets a lot colder over there. So I'll show you very quickly. We won't stay in there too long, but we'll take a peek. Here we go. Got it? Sorry about that. Alright, so this is our freezer storage area. Again, lots of space for racking and storing items. So as you can see, there aren't really any items that, we cannot store and distribute to our community and our individuals and families in need. We have a cooler, we have a freezer, and we have the dry storage area here at our new facility so that we can, process and distribute a lot more efficiently. So if you want to do any food drives, you have any food donations, bring them on down to the Palm Beach County Food Bank and we'll take them.